Welcome back to the show. We are kicking things off with a massive style shakeup at the Australian Open. The fashion powerhouse Boss is stepping in as the official lifestyle outfitter, bringing a bold new look to thousands of staff and officials across Melbourne Park. From high-end tailoring to immersive fan experiences, Boss is completely redefining the visual identity of the tournament. It is a battle of consistency and power as the round of 16 reaches its climax. Finally, we dive into the drama surrounding LIV Golf and the shocking rumors of a potential collapse. Despite reports that the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund might pull its funding, CEO Scott O'Neill insists the league is 100% funded through the rest of the year. But with the futures of stars like Cameron Smith left in limbo, the tension is palpable. Stay tuned for every update, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a beat. German luxury brand Boss has announced a landmark partnership with the Australian Open, positioning itself as the tournament's official lifestyle outfitter. This strategic collaboration is built on a shared commitment to ambition, world-class performance, and bold confidence. Boss aims to leverage this platform to connect with fans globally and showcase its collections through a blend of sport and lifestyle. CEO Daniel Grieder emphasized that tennis is deeply embedded in the Boss DNA, making this partnership a natural fit to drive the brand's positioning at the intersection of global fan engagement and high-end style. Tennis Australia CEO Craig Tiley added that the Boss aesthetic will enhance the visual identity of the tournament, bringing a modern and elevated look to Melbourne Park. As part of the deal, Boss will dress up to 4,000 staff, officials, and ball kids in silhouettes engineered for the Melbourne heat, utilizing a refined color palette and the brand's renowned tailoring expertise. Beyond the uniforms, the brand will introduce Boss branding across the venue, including the Rod Laver Arena, and launch exclusive merchandise, pop-up stores, and immersive fan activations. To mark the announcement, the brand released striking visuals reimagining tennis balls in luxury fabrics like wool and alpaca, highlighting its craft heritage. Boss's history with tennis is extensive, having sponsored the Davis Cup for 15 years and currently supporting ambassadors like Taylor Fritz and Matteo Berrettini, further cementing its status as a global style authority in the world of sport. Australian shares are expected to open flat on Thursday as investors navigate a mix of geopolitical tensions and local corporate news. Markets are closely monitoring the renewed optimism from the Trump administration regarding potential Iran deal talks, weighed against threats of tighter sanctions on Iranian oil buyers and shipping disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. Overnight, U.S. markets showed mixed results, with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite climbing 0.8% and 1.6% respectively, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average saw a slight dip of 0.2%. Locally, the market is awaiting the latest labor force report, scheduled for release at 11:30 am Sydney time. In corporate headlines, a significant fire broke out at the Viva Energy Group oil refinery in Geelong overnight, with emergency services continuing to work to contain the blaze. Meanwhile, Rio Tinto Group has reported the commissioning of a new alumina conveyor at its BC Works smelter in Canada. On Wednesday, the Australia's benchmark index closed up 0.1%, finishing at 8,978.7. The ATP Munich Open, now upgraded to a 500 series event, is heading into a high-stakes day 4 with several rounds of 16 matches. Experts are predicting key outcomes as the top players battle for a spot in the last 8. In the first matchup, Alex Malkin is favored over Daniel Altmaier, despite Altmaier's higher ranking. Malkin's recent match sharpness and momentum, after knocking out the third-seed Alexander Bublik, are expected to give him the edge in a competitive 3-set match. Fabian Marosin is predicted to take on Denis Shapovalov. Given Shapovalov's struggle for consistency this season, Marosin's controlled, flat hitting on clay is expected to be more effective, leading to a predicted victory for the Marosin in 3 sets. Francisco Cerundolo is seen as a strong favorite against Botic van de Zandschulp. Cerundolo's defensive capabilities and his ability to turn defense into attack on clay make him the opposite of the Dutch player, who has historically struggled on the surface. A straight-sets victory for Cerundolo is predicted. Finally, Alexander Zverev is set to defend his title in Munich. While he dropped a set in his opening match, Zverev's familiarity with the conditions and baseline quality are expected to lead him to a comfortable win over Gabriel Diallo, despite Diallo's powerful serve. LIV Golf CEO Scott O'Neill has dismissed reports of the league's potential collapse as mere rumors and speculation, asserting that the tour is 100% funded through the rest of the year. However, the announcement has failed to soothe all concerns, as O'Neill made no specific assurances regarding funding beyond 2026. The unrest follows reports from the Telegraph and Financial Times that the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, PIF, may be withdrawing funding. This tension is heightened by the following: a 5-year investment strategy from the PIF that omitted sports, a narrowing of focus toward football and esports, and the cancellation of a pre-tournament press conference in Mexico City citing a power outage. While the tour continues its 2026 schedule and executives had emergency meetings in New York, the futures of Australian players like Cameron Smith and Mark Leishman remain uncertain. Since 2021, LIV has spent roughly $5 billion to disrupt the professional golf world, but has faced massive losses and lacks a major television broadcast deal. Players, including Sergio Garcia, claim they are part of a long-term project and are relying on the official word from Chairman Yasser Al-Rumayyan. Despite the tour's ongoing funding for the current year, the recent poor performance of LIV stars at the Masters, where only Tyrrell Hatton placed third, has added to the narrative of a collapse. Meanwhile, the South Australian government has already committed to hosting events at the Grange in Adelaide through 2031.